The BWF World Championship 2026 in New Delhi come to an end, and it was a campaign actually filled with heartbreak, hopes, and history. And India won a medal in the women's double, and it was the only second medal for India in that discipline. Also, it was the only medal for India at the home World Championship as well. And to talk about this, to understand the that the gravity of the success, and there were so many questions regarding the World Championship as well. That after the India open mess up where we have seen monkey sighting and a lot of things. There were so many takeaways about that, and to understand that what this World Championship also mean for India, looking at the Asian Games as well. To understand this, I am joined by the badminton expert Abhijeet Kulkarni, someone who has seen the 2009 BWF World Championship, that the first time it came to India, and after 17 years as well, that is concluded today. There are so many difference, and there are so many takeaways from it. Abhijeet sir, first of all, that how do you think about this BWF World Championship, this home World Championship, and there are so many takeaways?
In terms of organization, probably it was a great success. After the India Open, like you mentioned, there were issues and whether everybody was wondering whether will be able to host the World Championship in the best possible way. But if you see, the entire BWF community, even the players, and everybody was very happy with the overall conduct of the championship, and the spectators made it special. Like in the last 3 days, we had a full house. The atmosphere was electric, and I think that is the biggest success of any tournament when spectators come in big numbers. Like today, there was no Indian in the final, but still we had a full house. I think in that sense, the BWF World Championship was a grand success. Yes, from the Indian players' perspective, probably just one medal on the home front would be considered a bit of a letdown.
Yeah.
Because we were playing at home, we would have expected that we would win at least more than one medal.
Yeah, it was.
But that did not happen. Sindhu came into the quarterfinals. Satvik Chirag came into the quarterfinals. Satvik Chirag had one bad match, and Sindhu gave her all, but the match didn't go her way. Otherwise, probably we would have had more medals. That is the one disappointment. But overall, I think it was a very successful World Championship.
How do you see the rise of Treesa and Gayatri Gopichand? When we talk about those two players, that there was no doubt about that these two are not talented enough, but there was a mental barrier or whatever we have said, that is actually shattered at the in front of the home audience, and now we can expect that these two players are the capable of beating anyone, and we have seen that beating the six seed, seven seed, that Japanese player, and then the another Chinese top player Zia, the part of that, who has so many international medals to her name. What do you think about their performance, especially sir in the semi-final as well? That they took a set against the Chinese world number one player, and they are the only fourth player this year as well that to take a set off against them. How do you see their performance and their growth from here?
I don't think there is a mental barrier as such. The players have been playing quite well. When they are fit, they have been playing quite well. They reached two back-to-back All England semi-finals.
Yeah.
The problem has been with them that they have been recurring injuries. Every time they start playing well, they start somebody, especially Gayatri, used to get injured. But this time Treesa got injured. Like you don't reach world number 9 ranking without being consistent.
Yeah, definitely.
Or having a mental block.
Correct.
So in that sense, they always had the talent, and I don't think it was a mental block, but that stop-start with injuries is what was affecting them. This time, after Treesa injured her leg, and it was a serious ligament injury, she took 6 weeks for complete rehab, and then they started preparing for this World Championship. So in that sense, they were well prepared. They made the most of the support that they got, and that 6 months of 6 weeks period where they took a break, they made a lot of changes to their game style, because we saw Treesa, who would be predominantly on the backcourt, was willing to go to the net,
Yes.
taking more responsibility on the net. And there was a variation which surprised a lot of opponents also, because probably every opponent was thinking, we get Treesa on the net, we push it to Gayatri, and Gayatri would basically do something to come back to the net. Instead, Gayatri was willing to finish the shuttles. At the same time, Treesa coming to the net would normally just lift and go back. This time she was attacking, she was keeping on the net. So in that sense, they worked on their game, they worked on the variations, they work on moving around the court, and that surprised a lot of players. And that worked for them.
Uh, the thing is that I'm coming back onto the international performance as well. There was a French Revolution on the Indian soil. Two gold medal, two historic gold medal for them. Victor Lai proving again that the last World Championship was not a fluke. 36-year-old Chao Tin Chin proving once again that old cliche that age is a number. He's proving and proving again and again. How do you see that these kind of performance and fans, for the fans as well? That's a historic moment to watching, and there's a full house definitely for them as well. So how do you see it like?
So France has been on the rise.
Yeah.
Means once they got the 2024 Olympics in Paris, they decided to invest in the sport. They have been having a lot of players. They reached the finals of the Thomas Cup, which
Yeah.
was a huge thing for any nation because there was not many countries reached the final of a Thomas Cup.
True.
So they have been on a rise. Last year, Gikel and Delru had anyway won a bronze medal.
Yeah.
So they were in contention for medal. But the way they beat both the Chinese players in the semi-final and final, they just showed that they were a lot better prepared than everybody for going for the title. And overall for World Badminton, it is very good. Like 2009, when the World Championship came to India, we safely assumed that probably China will win all 5 gold medals. Maybe there could be something where somebody else will get a medal, and that is what happened. China won 4, and Denmark's pair won the mixed doubles gold. So that was the only aberration in the Chinese dominance. But now you don't know. Like China had no medalist in men's singles.
Yeah.
China had nobody in the final of the women. In fact, rather China has not won a women's singles gold since 2011.
Yes.
So China is no more dominant. Today, it came to a level that had China not won the men's doubles gold at the end of the day, in the last match of the day, for the first time ever since China entered World Badminton in 1983 World Championship, first time China would have gone from a World Championship without a gold medal. So I think the game is becoming broader. More and more countries are willing to play the game, and that is only good for the game because as the game spreads, the game gets bigger. Otherwise, it was very restricted to a few countries, and that is the best part what is happening.
Definitely, I mean, from so many parts of the world that badminton is coming, and that's the beauty of a sports as well. That if there is a global representation, it makes it really good. So, want to understand a few things more. That I was just in conversation with Sanjay Mishra as well. That he said that India Open might shift to the Guwahati, and you have been there also, and there will be so many changes. Like next India Open that we are going to see, that will be 15 into 3. So many questions regarding that. Also, the Thomas Hoover Cup. How do you view all this development?
No, so from next year, BWF wants the game to be broader, bigger.
Yeah.
So the Super Thousands are going to be 2 weeks, and the singles draw will be 64 instead of 32. So the draw will be bigger. More players will be playing because they want more and more players and more countries to take part. The 15 by 3, there is a mixed reaction to it. Not everybody is very happy with the 15 by 3. Players don't know what to expect out of 15 by 3. So I think maybe in 6 months' time we will know. Though it starts next year, like January 2027, which means that for LA, we will have a 15 by 3 because the qualification will be 15 by 3. Unless BWF loses the faith in 15 by 3 before the qualification starts in the first week of May. But otherwise, 15 by 3, the whole idea for them is to reduce the amount of time being played because we saw yesterday the matches went on very long, and then scheduling wise or generating more media interest wise, they think that it is not a great idea. But I think the jury is still out on it. Not everybody is happy with the decision, but we will know whether BWF is right or wrong in the next few months once the system is operated.
Yeah, coming to the last, few questions. First of all, is that last time when we discussed about this World Championship, that was the start of the World Championship. It was day one. Uh, you said that 2009 was something. It was exposure tournament for all Indians to understand that how the World Championship looks like, not only for the players, for the fans and BAI as well, that to understand things, and that actually paved the way for the Indian settlers. And then we have seen this straight that lives on today as well, that the emotion we have seen Treesa, Gayatri on the podium. So how do you see this time that was an exposure and that paved the way for the Indian badminton? How do you view this World Championship? What will be the impact of it, on the Indian badminton, according to you,
So
sir?
in terms of badminton, competitive badminton of players, I think, like I said, it is quite a bit of a disappointment that we just won one medal.
Mm.
So in that sense, we are there, we are building players. So that phase has passed. I think the big positive for this year's badminton probably is badminton may become a mass spectator sport. The way
Yeah,
we got people in the
yeah,
stadium,
in the
and
final.
it was a ticketed event. It was
Yeah.
not a free event. It was no free passes.
Mm.
So because we always keep saying that apart from cricket, nobody comes to watch any other sport
Yeah.
in India. So in that sense, I think the next step is to become like a Malaysia or an Indonesia, where it becomes a spectator sport.
Mm.
I think once it becomes a spectator sport, more and more people want to watch it live. I think the money coming into the sport will also change.
Definitely.
That way, I think the commercial value of the game will go up. Players will get more sponsorships. So I think the next now, if 2009 was about showing India the path to growth,
Yeah.
it is now making this a more commercially viable, marketable sport. Should be the next step after this 2026 World Championship.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with this also because I'm seeing this like the ticket system was started in 2025 and it was a next level thing that I did not expect. Not even the federation that time expected that the crowd will be like this. I was there inside. I still remember quarter final, semi final, and final was full house and we don't have a single Indian players, and that we saw the today as well that it was a final. We don't have any Indian settlers playing, but it's still full house. So definitely, it might be a good commercial success. If federation and the commercial partners also understand. Last, I want to understand the India's way for the Asian Games from this World Championship. Definitely, it was a big ground to practice as well. Satwik Chirag, a big point of concern that will they be fit or what do they consider? I mean, will they get recovered properly? Like you had a conversation with so many Indian, top Indian players as well. So how do you see the India's campaign from here for the Asian Games as well, especially the Satwik Chirag? And I mean, if you want to shed some light on the Indian junior players as well, that of course most of them not will be part of the Asian Games, but still.
No, I think men's we were the silver medalists in the team championship last year. We are definitely medal contenders because we have strong singles, at least four strong singles. Satvik Chirag hopefully would be fit enough to play the team championship if they are, and with Arjun and Hariharan being playing so well, we are a strong medal contender. In women, I think Sindhu is there. Treesa Gayatri are playing well. And then we have a junior crop of Ashmita Chalia, Unnati Huda, Tanvi Sharma. Two of them have won a Super 300 internationally. Then we have Devika Sihag. So I think if any of these four can really complement Sindhu and Trisa Gayatri, then we have a chance of winning a team medal. On the individual events, I think all our players individually, singles or and then Sindhu included in women singles, have a chance of a medal. It will depend on the day they play. Regarding Chirag and Satvik, I like we have all known that there is an issue with Satvik's shoulder, and Chirag also had some back issues. I think they are defending the gold medal, so they may choose to play the Asian Games. But there would come a time where I think Chirag and Satvik will have to take a break and recover, because the Olympic qualification only starts in May next year, and they have a lot of time right now.
They need to think of the surgery. I mean,
If surgery is needed, because we are nobody to comment, but I've heard that they need it. So my if if I was in their place, probably, like the best players do this, that you let go of a smaller goal for a bigger goal. And I think for Chirag and Satvik, the biggest goal is the Olympics. Twice they came close, they had disappointment, and it still hurts them, because whenever I speak to them, it still hurts them. And if he carries the injury, probably it's not a great thing for him, because 2 years carrying the injury could only aggravate it. and instead of a forced surgery probably, or a forced break, probably they can plan a better break maybe after the Asian Games, because they may be needed for the team championship. So after that, maybe they can and come back stronger.
And Treesa as well, that earlier there was a Asian Games enough for them. So how do you think, yesterday Gopi sir said that they are preparing well for the Asian Games. So are they going for like, according to you, like, what is
No,
the
they are ready. So Trisa's injury is completely healed.
yeah.
So there is no problem. Injuries cannot be predicted. So we don't know what happens in the future. But in that sense, they are ready, and they are not going to the China Masters. They are going back and training because they also want to be prepared for the Asian Games, and they don't want to risk their bodies so early. So they are taking it easy. I think they are going to play a Super 100 or something in between, just to warm up for the Asian Games. So there is a plan. It's not like they are just blindly going to go and at the World Championship, after the World Championship to the Asian Games. Like they planned for the World Championship, they are planning for the Asian Games. So barring any freak injuries, I think they'll be ready.
Yeah. And with this, I think we need to wrap our campaign. It was a good last 6 7 days here, coming and covering everything, and there were so many positives from this tournament as well, that we, getting our second medal in the women's double. Then we talk about some other performance and the crowd work as well. And as Abhijit sir said, that last World Championship was all about the exposure for the Indian players and the Badminton Federation of India. This time it is something for us to understand that the how the commercial success can be. So I mean, keep watching the Revsportz, follow us, subscribe us, and don't forget to press the bell icon. We will meet again with others updates as well. And thank you, Abhijit sir, for joining Revsportz. Thanks a lot, guys.